Hi everyone. This video will take a look at some of the highlights of Assignment 12. Assignment 12 is Case Project 5. It's here in week 11 of the semester. If we look at the schedule for the week, you'll see that Case Project 5 is the only thing that is due this week. But you should remember that when I made the video for Case Project 4, I reminded you that Case Project 6 is a short research paper, and then you have the semester project. So if you find yourself with a little extra time after doing really just one assignment for this week, I would suggest that you get started on Case Project 6, the research paper, and or on your semester project. Go back here. Case Project 5 is a letter. It is a letter, a professional business letter in the same format as Case Project 4. You'll remember that in Case Project 4, you wrote a letter to me trying to sell something to me. There is no sample for Case Project 5, and when you see what it is, you'll understand why there isn't a sample. But you should use the Case Project 4 sample as an example of how the format should be, because the format for this letter should be exactly the same as the format for Case Project 4. And you should look at your feedback from me on Case Project 4 to be sure you did that format correctly. So I have the instructions here on the computer, so let's take a look. Before we look at the actual instructions, I'll say I hope this will be an enjoyable assignment for you. Well, I sort of hope all the assignments will be enjoyable, but I hope this one will seem maybe even a little bit more real. As you know, Vermont Tech, Castleton, Northern Vermont University, Lyndon and Johnson will merge on July 1st, 2023, and become Vermont State University. Dr. Parwinder Grewal will be the first president of Vermont State University, and for this current year, he has been serving as the president of the 3 separate colleges. And some of you may have met him in student forums and those sorts of things. He is interested in hearing student stories in order to learn more about the students who attend the Vermont State colleges. So the purpose, or one purpose of this assignment, is for you to share your student story with Dr. Grewal, and then to give feedback about your experiences from your perspective as a student at Vermont Tech. I will send these letters to Dr. Grewal. I will remove your name unless you say you want me to leave your name on your letter. If you don't tell me you want me to leave it on, I will remove it, so your letters will be entirely anonymous. The letter, again, this letter will be in the business writing formula, an introduction, then 3 support paragraphs, and then your conclusion. So your 3 support paragraphs, I've kind of told you what they should be about. So the first one should be your student story, about you. And I'm not going to read all of this to you, but I just made some suggestions of things that you might want to include in this first support paragraph, which would be paragraph 2 in your letter. And obviously, don't include anything that you're not comfortable sharing. And there may be lots of other things that fit this category that I didn't ask you. So feel free to include these. This is a story of you and what makes you unique. And that's what Dr. Grewal wants to hear. The second one is an opportunity. Would be now a paragraph 3, your second support paragraph, will be your opportunity to give us some feedback about your experiences at Vermont Tech. Things that have worked well for you, things that could be improved, and I give you a list of things that you might want to include, but you can add other things that you would like to talk about that would fit into this category. When we come down here to the last of the support paragraphs. This is kind of, again, about your perspective. So, some of the most important things you've gained, advice that you would give to new freshmen, advice you'd give to teachers, advice you'd give to staff, advice you'd want to give to Dr. Graywall and members of his staff. And I know he's had some student forums where he has asked students these sorts of things. You may not have had an opportunity to attend those. So again, this is your opportunity to give some feedback. And I can guarantee you from lots of meetings that I've had with Dr. Graywall that he does pay attention to what students say. So you're not just doing this as an assignment. You're doing it as an assignment, but it will provide valuable information that Dr. Graywall will appreciate. So when we look at this, we'll see that much of this is similar to what we talked about for the email message and for the letter that you wrote to me. Your introductory paragraph, and again, when you say your overview, you don't have to call these 3 paragraphs what I called them. You can make up your own what you want to title these paragraphs, but whatever you title them, you should discuss all of the topics, and when you do that overview statement in your introduction, you should title your overview however you decide to title these paragraphs. And this is really important here. I give you the opportunity to give positive feedback, about, or give feedback about faculty and staff. If you're giving positive feedback about someone, feel free to mention their name. If you want to give negative feedback about an experience that you have had with faculty or staff, do that in a general kind of way and don't mention specific names. That's just a courteous way to do it. Your writing should include patterns, examples of the sentence patterns you've reviewed. Again, you don't have to label them, but I should be able to see examples of sentence patterns. And your support paragraph should, again, 1 paragraph for each of the 3 topics. And try to remember, and this is something that's good to remember regardless of when you're asked to give feedback, it's fine to give negative feedback, but try to include some positive feedback as well, because when anyone reads a whole litany of just negative things, then sometimes the reader might think, what's going on here? Did this person not ever have any good experience? So just, try to balance the feedback that you give. And then your last paragraph is the same, a strong closing paragraph. This tells you how to address the letter, and you should probably, your salutation should be, Dear Dr. Graywall, because again, doctor is not a gender-specific title. And this year, obviously, you're going to just submit this to Canvas. If you have any questions about this, make sure you ask. But, I hope you'll take this seriously. I hope you'll put some good thought into it. And I can guarantee you that Dr. Graywall will appreciate reading it.